Hello everyone! I'm at the supercharger still. If you saw my 130 kilometers an hour range test with the Volvo EX30 single motor, and now we're gonna do the 110 kilometers an hour range test. I'm charging to 90%. We just established that the car cannot be plugged in under 12%. You get a low state of low power. Under 8% only 20 kilowatt, and then from 8 to 12 you get around 60 kilowatt, and at 12% we get the 150 kilowatt. Yeah, and this it is our car here. The single motor has 69 kilowatt hours available, 69 kilowatt hour battery, 64 kilowatt hours can be used, has 200 kilowatt motor rear wheel drive, and I'm hoping it has more range than the twin motor, the all-wheel drive. But in the 130 kilometers an hour test it did not. It had the same range as the all-wheel drive, which is weird. So charging to 90% only because it takes so long from 90 to 100, and then we go. We are on our way again, and I'm a loser. I only charged to 80%. It said from 80 to 90%, 17 minutes, and I was, it should be fine. Come on, we're using at least 50% of the battery. I want to arrive again at around 12% at the charger, so we get full power. I have now AC on 22 degrees in auto, low fan speed, because it's warm, it's 30 degrees outside, and my speed is 113, and this is weird. At 114 it's around 110, 111 GPS speed, but as you can see it jumps around, so I put it at 113, because with when I put it to 114 it will go to 115, and then it's too fast. That's also not good. Where are we? We drove only 10 kilometers so far, already used 3%. Consumption is 171, that's what my ID4 had at 130. But hello, it's a different car, all different, small SUV, it's all okay. Nobody is saying anything. I just want to see if the range is different than with the all-wheel drive, and have to look what the range was. I don't know. Right now I have to look it up. I'm at 55%, used 25% of my battery, and drove 98.5 kilometers. That is, my God, 400 minus 6, so 394 kilometers. I looked, and in the all-wheel drive I got 360 kilometers of range, but it was raining on that day. So it was 50% rain, I think 50%, the road was wet 100%, and it rained 50% of the drive. So 30 kilometers more is not amazing. Yeah, 163 watt-hours per kilometer is my consumption. Average speed is pretty good. Okay, I have the AC, I had it for, I think I have the fan speed now on medium. It was a bit too warm in here. I have to talk about the cruise control and the self-steering again. Self-steering on the highway is okay, it's not amazing. Many times I feel it that it's going in a direction where it shouldn't, so it goes to the left more and more, and I don't know why. I had a ghost brake, by the way, a Tesla ghost brake, where it just slowed down without anyone being around. Okay, I'm okay with that. It's once, and I drove 2 cars for a few thousand kilometers, so I let that slide. But what's really annoying is the cruise control, the distance. So when I'm getting closer to a car that's driving slower than me, if the car is driving just a tiny bit slower, it's okay. I have it gets close and close, and then when the distance is reached that I set it to, I have it on low distance, then it slows down a bit abrupt. It's not very comfy, but it's okay. But if there's far away a truck or something that drives 20 kilometers an hour slower than me, then even though the car is 500 meters away, it decelerates, brakes strongly. So, and it's like, what the hell is happening? And the car that's slow is far away, like this one here. So that distance, 200-300 meters, and I'm always, it's a bit early. I mean, I like it that it slows down when a car is driving slower. That's okay, but why so abruptly? Why not a bit? You have long distance. It's not standing, the car. It's just driving 20 kilometers an hour less. It would be so much more comfortable. I just notice it when you drive behind a car and the car is slowing down and speeding up, how it does it. By the way, it's great with the self-steering that it notices my touch without having to steer or touch strong. It's awesome. And the other thing is, when you have the cruise control right now at 113 and then you pass a car with a bit faster and then you slow down and fast, so when you are in that middle, it's a weird feeling that you have power, and then when you get off the power just a bit, it slams on the brake stronger because it wants to get to that 113. You're driving 118 or so. But I had that in other cars too, so this is not spectacularly weird, but the other stuff is just a bit weird. All over, it's just not very comfortable. I missed it because I was just filming and it switched to 30%, so 50% that I used. But I calculated right now at 29%, it was 192 kilometers. That would mean a full range of 376 kilometers at this consumption, and perfect conditions, perfect drive. And that's 16 kilometers more than the all-wheel drive in bad weather. So colder temperatures and wet rain and wet road. That's so maybe, and I've seen that on the 130 drive, rear wheel drive or all wheel drive doesn't make any difference. You have the same range. Interesting. I turned around, and as I've seen in the twin motor, when you're not driving 130 on the highway, Google Maps is not right, not correct. So it wants you to drive 130. The time is incorrect, and my state of charge is going up on arrival. When I started the navigation, it told me 5%. I'm already at 9. So it really thinks you're on the highway, you're driving 130. That's a bit sad. Again, we know that, and I know that with Google Maps at all. So when you use it on your phone too, you're on the highway, you're driving 130. That's how it is, what it thinks it should do. Otherwise, the drive is fine. I was on 2 toilets on the highway now, and one was totally full, people were waiting, and the other one, there was 1 toilet available. I went in and no toilet paper. So, and it happened to me not last week, but the week before in a different test too. I was on 2 toilets along the highway, and both didn't have toilet paper in there. I mean, what is this? Either someone is stealing it and they don't have, they have those big rolls, and there's nothing that you can, that you have 5-6 rolls on top, and then if one is empty. I don't know if the truckers are stealing it. I'm not saying someone is doing it. It's just weird that it's always empty. It's really weird. Someone is using a lot, or it's not being filled up properly as it should be. It's holiday season, and if you need a charging solution for your trip on your holiday or trip just around Europe, then check out Maingau Autostrom. With Maingau, you can charge at over 550,000 charging stalls all over Europe. You can use the app to start the charging session, a card, or this tiny little chip that I love. Just so light, look at this. There's nothing, you can have it on your keychain and you don't have to go into something, you always have it in your pocket. That's awesome. So check them out in the link in the description below. I arrived with 13%, 249 kilometers driven, 250 kilometers is what Google Maps says, 169 watt-hours per kilometer. My consumption went up. Huh, yeah, interesting. When I take the range, it's 373 kilometers in perfect conditions. Yes, it's hot, 30 degrees, I need the AC, but hot temperature mean that you also get through the air very well and have low consumption. And the twin motor had 360 in the rain. So I guess they're the same. There's no difference. That's weird. Here's all the data so you can see. It was a great drive. I could hold the speed perfectly. Just twice I wanted to go to the toilet, but I couldn't. So I slowed down, drove outside the highway and then back on, but it wasn't a detour or anything. It was maybe 100 meters more. I'm gonna charge a bit and then I go home. This was the test for the day. It was a nice drive. And now there are not so many Teslas, there are only 3 Teslas here. I always get the same charger, 1B, that's mine. 1A is always free because of the disabled spot. If you want to follow me on Instagram, BatteryLife1, and if you want to support the channel, there's a Patreon link in the description below, and here on YouTube there's also channel membership. If you want to know more what's happening behind the scenes on this channel, I have a 3rd channel, Behind the Battery, link is in the description as well. But that's it for me, thank you very much for watching, have a great day and take care, bye!